Listening passages. L1. Sangappa is a farmer in Prasadpura. He got his son admitted to a nearby school. That school was a bit different from other ones, and it was located in an ashram. Sangappa went to the ashram one day to see how his son was getting on. He opened the gate and went in. What he saw surprised him. For there were no classes. Students had freedom to go wherever they liked. At a distance, some students were reading books and trying to get by heart some questions and answers. He looked around for his son. A greater surprise was awaiting him. For his son had been sitting on a tree watching the birds singing. Also, he was trying to draw the birds in a book. Sangappa went straight to the headmaster's office. He said, "I am sorry, I thought my child was learning. But look where my son is." "I'm really sorry, sir," the headmaster replied quietly. "Well, Sangappa, I too feel sad, but not for your child, but for those bookworms," and pointed towards the boys trying to memorize answers. Sangappa could not make out anything. He said, "Are you joking, sir?" "No," said the headmaster. "Your son is studying nature and he's learning. But those kids are not." L2. Bhaskar was a famous scientist and a great poet too. He was a Kannadiga born in Vijayapura. His father Maheshwaropadhyay was a learned mathematician. Bhaskar's first teacher was his own father. Bhaskar invented Kalachakra, the time clock. L3. Gandhiji was travelling from Durban to Maritzburg in South Africa. He had a first-class ticket. He sat in the train. After some time, a passenger came and asked him to go to the other compartment. Gandhiji showed his first-class ticket and refused to leave the compartment. After some time, 2 policemen came and forcefully pushed him out of the train. His baggage was thrown out too. Gandhiji felt very sad. L4. A poor little girl was walking along the lonely deserted road. She was wearing a worn-out dress and her feet were bare. She had been asked by her father to sell boxes of matches and to bring home the money. The girl's pocket was full of unsold boxes of matches. She did not want to go home because her father would beat her for not bringing back any money. Sadly, she lit one match after another. Suddenly the figure of her grandmother, who had died a year before, appeared in front of her, smiling happily. As the last flaming match was beginning to die out, her grandmother took her in her arms and carried her up to the heavens. The next morning the passers-by found the frozen girl lying in the snow with a pretty smile on her lips. Her burnt matches lay scattered all around her. L5. Once, to the court of a king came two women with a baby seeking justice. Each of them claimed that she was the real mother, and so she alone had the right to own and look after it. The king looked at the minister. The minister stood up and addressed the women thus: "Both of you say the child is yours. So, this court orders the baby to be split in two, and each woman will have a half of the baby." The first woman readily agreed. But the second woman said, "I don't want to go by your suggestion. You may give the baby to that woman." Do you know what the minister decided? Yes, he ordered that the baby be handed over to the second woman, and the first woman be punished. L6. 1. Kamla is friendly and polite. 2. Nana is social and generous. 3. Mridula is jealous and lazy. 4. Kamini helps the poor. 5. Soumya does not respect elders. 6. Maya is always late to school. 7. Nandini works hard. 8. Sudha talks and talks but never listens to others. 9. Preeti is calm and quiet. 10. Janki has sympathy for the poor. L7. Once there lived a king. He was very handsome. He felt proud of himself. Once, in the court, he asked his ministers how handsome he was. They told him that he was more handsome than any other person in the world. Impressed by their compliments, he proudly told them that he was more attractive than the gods. Gods in the heaven heard this. They wanted to teach him a lesson. The next day when he got up, he had horns on his head. As soon as he got up, he went to the mirror. He saw his face. Seeing horns on his head, he felt ashamed of himself. He ordered his ministers to get him a barber. The barber came and dressed his head, hiding the horns. The king threatened him not to tell the matter to anybody. He promised, but he could not. He came to the tree near the palace and uttered, "The king has two horns on his head." After some time, the tree fell down. The king ordered to prepare drums using the wood. A music concert was arranged. When the drums were beaten, it made a sound. The king has two horns on his head. The people who had gathered there burst into laughter. The king felt ashamed and realized his mistakes. L8. Student: Hi, I'm Chetan. Magician: Pleased to meet you, I'm Jadugar Goga. Student of Magician: What magic can you do? Magician: Within a second, I can make your lunch box disappear. Student: Interesting. What else can you do? Magician: I can change this piece of paper into a 100-rupee note. Student: Fantastic. But how do you play these tricks? Magician: I hypnotize the people. I capture their attention. Student: Can you grow 100 kinds of mangoes on a single tree? Magician: Sorry, that I can't. Student: Can you make the seeds disappear from the fruits? Magician: I am helpless, I can't. Student: But there is one man who could do this. Magician: You mean Luther Burbank? Student: Yes, you are right. And he can do many more such things. Let me live. Once I was a tiny seed. Mother Nature cared my need. I grew up as a shady tree. Now my age is 23. I have branches so many. For children to play is company. I feed worms with tiny figs. I make homes with tiny things. I am for the resting herds. Also for the poor shepherds. People breathe the air I give. Why don't people let me live?